What's up, y'all? My name's Jesse with Greatt Builds, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to build your own set of cornhole boards. I'm also going to be giving this set a cool design, so be sure to stick to the end for that. To start out, I like to get all of my main cuts out of the way, that way I'm not going back and forth to my miter saw. For your cut list, you'll need 4 pieces cut at 45 inches, 4 cut at 24 inches, 4 cut at 13 inches with a 30-degree angle, and 2 pieces of plywood cut at 2 feet by 4 feet. And you'll also need a 6-inch hole saw to cut the hole later on. These boards can also be put together without any pocket holes, you'll just have to be okay with either nails or screws showing in the top of the boards. And here's a quick cut list that you're welcome to screenshot to save later on. Once all the pieces were cut, I grabbed my Greatt pocket hole jig and put 4 pocket holes in the 24-inch pieces and 5 pocket holes in the 45-inch pieces. Now, this step is completely optional, but I placed some Titebond wood glue on the boards just for some added strength. After the frame is finished, I grabbed a round container and drew a circle on one end of each of the 13-inch boards. This will help the legs rotate easily when folding them in and out. For the angles on the legs, set your miter saw to a 30-degree angle and cut one end off each of the legs. For the hole in the legs, I measured 1 3/4 inches from the side and 1 inch from the top. And for the pilot hole, just use a drill bit that is the same size as the carriage bolts that you plan to use for your cornhole boards. Now let's get the holes cut on these boards. I measured 12 inches from the side and 9 inches from the top, which is the standard regulation measurements for cornhole boards. To make this cut, you can use either a 6-inch hole saw, which is the easiest, or a jigsaw to make this cut as well. It's just a little bit harder. Once the hole is cut, I grab my router with a roundover bit to smooth out all of the edges of the board. After it was all sanded up, I next flipped the board over to start getting these legs attached. To get the legs placed in the correct spots, I just used a scrap 2x4 piece which put the legs at about 1.5 inches from the edge. After the legs are lined up, I used the same pilot hole I used to drill into the legs to use to drill through the frame. Once that's done, you'll then push the carriage bolt through, place a washer, the leg, and then another washer with a bolt at the end. I like to place 2 bolts on the end just to make sure that the bolt won't unscrew over time. And just repeat this process for the other leg. And now here comes the fun part, creating the design for the top of the boards. I wanted to make more of a Spider-Man theme on these boards, so I used some frog tape to make a web design on the board. With the design, you'll still have that normal triangle shape going up to the hole, but overall it'll end up looking like a giant spider web at the end. Once all the tape is placed, I got some red paint and painted the entire boards. And after it was all dried up, the satisfying part begins by removing all the tape. And once all the tape is removed, I gave the edges a light sand just to knock down any of the high edges of where the paint was, and then put a clear polycoat on top to both protect the boards as well as give it a more slick feel for the cornhole board bags. You may need to repeat this process a few times until it is as smooth as you like, but after that your cornhole boards are complete. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video, as I'll be uploading a lot more fun beginner DIY videos as well as a bunch more reviews. Thanks again for watching, take care!